Hey Nez, you know what's awesome?
What?
10-minute recording limits.
Yo,
So,
right?
these videos are now just going to be separated into 10-minute segments, and you're just going to click the annotations in the top right to continue on with the discussion.
Yeah, just click it.
Um, and your comments on each video can just pertain to whatever we discussed per video. That way, it's all organized when we talk about it with you guys. So, anyway, just so you know, we were in-depthly analyzing every single, how the Displacer Beast affect every single spec of the Druids without knowing that the recording is stopped, because I'm smart like that. So I'm just going to sum it up for you now. With balance, it is, well, I'm just going to put this out there, it's useful in every single spec, PvP-wise, because, let's face it, it's a Vanish. And unless you're really, really, really unlucky with some kind of like Death and Decay or Ring of Frost, it's always going to be a good thing to use.
Yeah,
For,
because of the blink effect
Yeah.
of random 20 yards.
for like your oh shit moments in PvP.
Right.
Now, balance and resto, it's essentially, we determined that it's a great aggro resetter for if you're just like a badass DPS druid or kitty druid or whatever kind of druid you are, and you top the aggro charts and tanks get mad at you, you can probably reset your aggro because we're assuming it works like a regular Vanish. And then for tanking, there's may or may not in the future be some specific scenarios where it becomes a good thing and you want your off tank, say, to taunt off you, but he's stupid and his taunt is on cooldown. I think you're going to be able to use it to reset your aggro. And as
Yeah,
resto, there's always healing aggro, so it's an aggro reset, but never use it to actually get anywhere in PvE because lots of fights have lots of fire and it will get you killed. So use it wisely.
Or cliffs. Definitely.
Can it
There's
do that?
some-
No, I'm gonna assume it works like Blink, and it's not
you're right,
gonna let
you're
you
right.
go off of ledges. Then again, you can be stupid enough to be running forward whilst using it and then run off a cliff. That could happen.
Right, and I mean, this is going to be in a new expansion. New expansions, as we've seen in the past, have been very sketchy and, not as developed as, like, the last patch of the expansion, of course, because, like, especially this one and Cataclysm, they brought in a lot of new things. Like, especially Mist of Pandaria. Like, they're completely redoing redoing the talent system. Cataclysm, they reduced it just to a few numbers, so you're not doing, you don't have like 60 points to spend. You now only have like 20 to 40 around there. So it's like, 30 to 40. So yeah, it's like this one. It's now you're spending what, 6?
What? Well, how many tiers are there? 1, 2,
There's 6
3,
tiers,
4.
yeah.
Yeah, there's 6.
15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90. Right?
You're
So,
a mathematician. Yay!
I know. Everybody clap for me. Okay. Anyways.
Moving on, because we don't want this Druid analysis to be 30 videos long. No one's gonna
Right.
watch that.
Right. Okay. Next.
Unless you do, in which case you're awesome.
Yes.
Alright,
Clap for you.
okay, so the next one, I believe this one is still yours. Tireless Pursuit, which we also did start analyzing when I did not realize that the recording had stopped.
Yes. Okay. Well,
So go.
let's get back to the point. So, Tireless Pursuit. It's a instant cast, 3-minute cooldown. Removes all roots and snares, and increases movement speed by 70% while in cat form for 15 seconds. Does not break prowling. Using this ability activates cat form. So just like Displacer Beast, it automatically puts you in cat form when you use it. So for those of you who actually have form macros or stance macros, that when you use a spell, it puts you in that stance, then pretty much this is the exact same thing, except that, it would be just like casting something. And I was talking earlier, before the, video, or after the video cut out, that where it says removes all roots and snares, there's a talent in the rogue spec, I think it's combat, that when you use a sprint, it takes away a movement and parity effect. So if you were in a Nova or a slow, boom, sprint, run away. You can sprint without the movement and parity. But it doesn't make you immune. It just takes you out of it. And that's the same thing I'm seeing here. But this is, the whole first tier I've been seeing is very lenient to feral, and just for the fact that all of it has literally the word cat form in it. Like, that's a big given hint right there. I mean,
Well, yeah.
forces you into a cat form, and increases while in cat form. I mean,
Yeah, now I'm running out of the assumption, and this assumption is just based off of the pictures because I haven't read any of the other talents yet. But each tier is probably going to pertain to a specific one of the specs, but still give slight benefits to the others, like we're seeing here. Now, what I like about this is that yes, it gives Druid a little bit more viability in other scenarios, because before they could only dispel magic effects and stuff or in rages, which was kind of only useful against warriors. But what I don't like about this talent is that it forces you into cat form. I think it's great that you get an extra sprint. Now, I don't know, granted, that it's going to or not going to share a cooldown with your dash. I don't think it will, because dash has a really small cooldown, and this one is 3 minutes.
Usually it would say, it shares of some sort.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking it says while in cat form, so you have to stay in cat form to gain that movement. You can't use it, shift to cat form. Shift to cat form.
Shit.
Ha ha ha. Yeah, you can't use it, get into your cat form, have the 70%, and then shift out and still have your 70% movement speed.
Right.
Which I mean, unless you're feral to begin with, I don't like. If you're a boomkin, yeah, great, you got away, you got out of your snare thing, but you still want to be using the spells that are within your spec. So I would kind of like this to be a little more open. I mean, with the Displacer Beast, I understood that it had to put you into cat form because cats are the only ones that can stealth.
Right.
But this one, I really don't see why you have to stay as a cat.
Well, I mean, a lot of the Druid is mimicking other classes. A feral is probably
Or do
like
other
a cat.
classes mimic the Druid? Think about it.
I will think about it. But no, in my opinion, they have key spells from other things, like, the dash. So, what a rogue would have. So, I'm thinking, to keep it kind of to that, selection, you wanna... You don't want to give, something that, just annoying as hell, a sprint rogue.
Well, yeah, no, the thing is that the Druids have things that are like other classes, but what sets them apart is it's all into one class. And I think what they're aiming for with a lot of these talents is
bring all those together.
Making certain abilities more viable within every single form you have.
Right.
So that you're not just that one half-assed version of a class, but you're your own class.
Exactly.
Being able to use all of your abilities in or out of form.
Yeah, this is why I believe this new talent system is really big in favor for the Druids. Because they're adding another talent, it looks like it. Because they're not putting feral combat together as cat and bear. They're completely separating it, it looks like. And they're putting feral and guardian. Guardian is the new bear form. Or tanking, if you want to say. So, yeah. I just think it's really good for the feral. Because any class that really you have to stance with, having the hassle of having to go into another stance, use your abilities, and then go back, you're wasting all that precious time. With this new talent system, specialization, you don't have to waste, you could cut all of that time into half, and you have extra times to do what you're supposed to be doing, and doing what you're trying to focus on. And this could be a very positive thing for the whole stance situation.
Yeah.
And timing.
I guess so. Okay, now we do that thing where we go through the 4. So, this talent for boomkins, what do you think?
Well, I think it's a good thing. Only for, again, oh crap moments. Say you have a mage. Currently, I'm just thinking about now, because we haven't really gone through the mages. We don't know how they work quite well, now. So, by, looking at it now, it's